The sudden, brutal blast of extremely cold air instantly hit my entire face with the severe, shocking force of a massive, hard slap, instantly ripping me totally out of my brief, terrifying darkness and back into the harsh, freezing reality of the entire, tight space that instantly smelled overwhelmingly of severely wet cardboard and cold, metallic ozone, instantly snapping my entire head back with a sharp, massive jolt that instantly sent a massive, sharp pain slicing right through my entire neck. My entire lungs instantly seized up hard, instantly unable to take a single deep breath of the severely thin and rapidly freezing air that was immediately suffocating me and instantly making my entire chest severely ache with a deep, total misery. My entire mouth was immediately stuffed severely full of something thick and severely dry. Was this the freezer room they totally warned me about? I immediately fought hard against the tightly bound rope that was instantly digging deep right into the sensitive skin of my severely swollen wrists, instantly chafing the entire skin and instantly sending a wave of total, sharp agony right up my entire arms with every single movement I immediately made, instantly knowing that the single, crucial seconds were immediately slipping away fast, and that my entire body was immediately losing core temperature way too quickly right here in this freezing, small joint. I immediately shivered uncontrollably, the intense, sudden cold instantly seizing every single muscle in my entire body, and immediately forcing a small, weak whimper right past the severely tight gag that was instantly choking me and immediately cutting off my entire air supply. I instantly felt a massive, hard piece of totally loose metal right beside my entire foot. Could I reach the piece of metal? The whole massive mess instantly started exactly 4 long, tiring months prior, right after I immediately landed the prestigious, seriously high-paying job as the entire company's sustainability program director for the entire massive Northeast region of Walmart, instantly tasked with the massive, impossible goal of immediately slashing all massive carbon emissions and immediately proving that the biggest, ugliest retail giant could totally go completely green and still totally turn a massive, huge profit. It was totally the entire career opportunity I had totally dreamed about since I was seriously young, instantly giving me a massive budget and total, complete access to every single store and every single massive facility right there in the entire region. I immediately felt the immense pressure. Would I totally save the planet or totally fail the entire company? I immediately moved my entire life right to the regional headquarters in Bentonville, instantly feeling the severe, sudden shift in the entire corporate culture from my previous, seriously lame nonprofit gig to the massive, aggressive pace of the global retail giant, instantly realizing that the entire project was instantly less about actual, real saving the planet and totally more about immediately managing the entire massive PR optics and the final, total bottom line of the entire massive company. My entire immediate boss, a severely cold, totally ruthless vice president named Mr. Thorne, instantly made it severely clear that any single failure to instantly meet the massive tight deadlines would immediately result in my immediate brutal termination. I instantly signed the severely long NDA papers. Was Mr. Thorne totally hiding something already? My very first major task was totally to immediately oversee the launch of the massive, new future-proof initiative, which was totally focused on immediately installing brand new, totally efficient cooling units and massive recycling centers right behind all 500 massive supercenters right there in the entire region, instantly requiring me to personally audit the old, severe infrastructure of every single store, to immediately find the single greatest energy waste and the entire location of the worst violations. I immediately flew right out to the severely remote flagship store right there in upstate New York, instantly ready to immediately start the entire audit and immediately prove my entire worth to the massive cutthroat company. I instantly packed my hard hat and my single clipboard. Would the audit reveal major problems immediately? I immediately spent the next 2 long, tiring weeks right inside the cavernous, massive supercenter, immediately scouring every single aisle and every single severely dark corner, instantly documenting the massive leaks and the total waste right there on my hard clipboard, immediately shocked by the sheer, huge scale of the entire massive inefficiency and the utter, massive neglect that instantly plagued the massive regional infrastructure of the entire massive company. The entire store was totally losing massive amounts of severe, cold air right through the badly sealed freezer doors and immediately wasting huge amounts of totally clean water right through a leaky, busted pipe that was immediately flooding the entire severely dark subbasement. I immediately sent a sharp, angry email to Mr. Thorne. Would he care about the waste? Mr. Thorne immediately replied to my sharp, angry email exactly 6 tiny minutes later, instantly ordering me to immediately stop focusing on the lame, minor plumbing issues and totally start prioritizing the final, critical reporting of the massive, impressive PR numbers that he totally needed for the entire company's final year-end shareholder meeting, instantly making it severely clear that the massive truth about the total waste was entirely secondary to the single public perception of the entire Green Future initiative. I immediately fumed hard right there in the severe, dark sub-basement, instantly realizing that my entire job was totally not to immediately fix the planet, but totally cover up the entire massive, ugly mess and immediately make the entire company totally look good. I instantly shoved my clipboard hard into my entire bag. Was my boss a total fraud? I immediately ignored Mr. Thorne's totally lame command and immediately headed hard right down to the severely dark sub-basement again, instantly determined to immediately find the final, main source of the severe, total flooding and the strange metallic smell that had immediately plagued the entire massive supercenter for the last few long, gnarly weeks, instantly knowing that the entire massive leak was totally way more than just a simple, tiny, busted pipe, and that the severe metallic smell was totally not sewage at all. I immediately slipped my entire head right under a severely busted, ugly pipe that was severely leaking a thin, clear fluid that instantly burned my entire skin, instantly confirming that the severely toxic chemical was immediately seeping right into the main local water table right there. I instantly retreated fast. What was the toxic fluid they were hiding? I immediately ran full speed right back up to the entire main floor, instantly ignoring the sharp, severe pain that instantly ripped through my entire lungs, and immediately demanding immediate, total access to the entire massive chemical inventory logs from the severely shaky floor manager. Instantly acting totally official and severely stressed to totally hide my sheer, massive panic and my immediate, sharp dread. Instantly knowing that the entire clear fluid was absolutely not on any single approved chemical list, and that the massive, huge leak was totally illegal and seriously deadly. The severely shaky manager immediately handed me a massive, severely dusty binder full of severely old and totally faded inventory forms. I immediately flipped open the binder. What was the single missing chemical they used? I immediately spent a next long, tiring hours severely combing through the massive, severe logs right there inside the entire tiny manager's office, instantly comparing the current chemical inventory against the massive receipts from exactly 3 long, gnarly years prior. Instantly finally finding a single, tiny entry for a massively volatile and severely illegal solvent that was immediately listed as totally used for concrete sealing, and instantly flagging a massive, huge discrepancy in the final reported disposal rate of the severe toxic chemical. The severely toxic solvent instantly matched the entire description of the strange toxic fluid that was severely leaking right into the entire severely dark sub-basement. I immediately slammed the binder shut. Was the entire basement a dump site? I instantly knew I totally had to, immediately, get severely hard proof right now. I immediately grabbed a small, clean sample bottle from the manager's dusty desk and immediately headed hard right back down to the entire severely dark sub-basement, instantly determined to immediately collect a single, clear sample of the severely toxic solvent before Mr. Thorne could totally find out what massive thing I was immediately doing and immediately stop my entire major investigation into the entire corporate mess. I immediately crawled hard under the severely busted, ugly pipe again, instantly holding the small, clean sample bottle right under the thin, steady drip of the severe toxic fluid, instantly feeling the severe, sudden cold right down my entire spine. The severe toxic fluid immediately started severely burning a massive, tiny hole right through the bottle's plastic lid. Was the solvent more dangerous than I thought? I immediately ran full speed right back up the severely steep service stairs, instantly clutching the now severely corroding sample bottle right inside a severely thick rubber glove I had immediately snatched from the severely dusty supply closet, instantly knowing that the single, clear sample I had immediately collected was the final, hard evidence I totally needed to immediately expose the entire, massive, ugly mess and immediately prove that the massive Green Future Initiative was totally a severely sick and totally vicious corporate lie. I instantly called my only severe friend at the local EPA office, instantly demanding that she immediately meet me right now at the entire store entrance and immediately bring massive, heavily guarded security teams. I immediately looked over my entire shoulder. Was Mr. Thorne watching my moves? I immediately saw Mr. Thorne's massive, black sedan immediately pull hard right up to the entire massive supercenter, instantly accompanied by two totally unmarked and extremely menacing white vans that immediately felt totally out of place and extremely sketchy right there in the empty parking lot, instantly confirming that he immediately knew exactly what massive thing I was immediately doing, and that he was totally not coming here to immediately talk about my entire safety or the entire massive toxic leak right now. My entire heart instantly dropped right to my stomach with total sheer panic. I immediately sprinted hard toward the back exit, right through the entire massive garden center, instantly clutching the severe toxic sample right inside my severely shaky hand. Would I make it out the back door? I immediately slammed hard right through the emergency exit door of the massive garden center, instantly sending a massive, loud screech of severely rusted metal right across the entire empty parking lot, instantly revealing the entire back area that was totally packed with brand new, totally efficient cooling units and massive recycling bins, instantly confirming that the entire scene was totally set for the massive fake PR photo op he totally needed. I immediately ran full speed right behind the massive noisy compressors, instantly trying to immediately hide from the severely sharp, glaring headlights of the totally unmarked white vans that were immediately peeling hard right around the massive building right now. I immediately felt a severely hard hand immediately clamp down hard on my entire shoulder. Was it Thorne himself? I immediately spun around hard, instantly ready to immediately fight or immediately scream as loud as I totally could right now, instantly seeing a massively huge and totally unfamiliar man wearing a severely plain and totally faded black jacket and severe dark jeans, instantly realizing that he was totally not Mr. Thorne, but an extremely professional and seriously vicious enforcer who immediately knew exactly what massive thing he was immediately doing, instantly grabbing the severe toxic sample bottle right from my severely shaky hand and immediately tossing the entire thing hard right into a massive, noisy recycling bin nearby. He immediately grabbed my entire arms severely hard. Where were the other men now? I immediately fought hard against the massively huge man with all my severely shaky might, instantly kicking out hard right at his massive knees and violently wrenching my entire arms right out of his severely tight grip, instantly sending myself tumbling hard right over a massive plastic stack of empty, severe cardboard boxes that were instantly strewn everywhere right across the severely dark pavement, instantly trying desperately to immediately crawl right toward the entire back gate of the massive supercenter and my final, tiny hope of total, absolute escape. But the massive, huge man was totally way too fast and totally way too strong for my severely lame defense, instantly grabbing my entire legs severely hard and immediately dragging me hard right back toward the open, dark door of the totally unmarked white van. I instantly screamed as loud as I totally could. Would anyone hear me now? The massive, huge man immediately yanked me hard right into the severely dark, metal interior of the totally unmarked white van, instantly throwing my entire body hard onto the cold, severely dusty floor, and immediately following me right in with a massive, heavy thud that instantly shook the entire enclosed vehicle, instantly confirming that I was severely trapped and totally stuck right here in this moving, small prison with absolutely no single chance of total, absolute escape or immediate rescue. I immediately tried to fight back again, instantly kicking out hard right at his massive shins with my entire feet, but the massive, huge man instantly slapped a severely thick piece of heavy, dark tape right across my entire mouth, instantly cutting off my desperate screams. He immediately pulled out a massive black hood. Where were we going right now? He immediately forced the severely dark, massive hood hard right over my entire head, instantly plunging me totally into crushing, severe darkness and immediate, sharp dread, instantly making the entire world immediately vanish and instantly intensifying every single other sound and every single other sensation right around me, instantly making me severely disoriented and totally powerless right here in the entire small space. I immediately felt the rough, severely tight rope immediately cinch down hard around my severely swollen wrists and my severely shaky ankles, instantly securing me severely tight to a cold metal fixture right there on the severe metal floor of the totally moving van. I instantly heard the massive, loud thud of the back door immediately closing hard. Was Mr. Thorne driving the van? The totally unmarked white van immediately accelerated fast right onto the highway, instantly sending a wave of total, sharp nausea and severe, dizzy motion sickness right through my entire stomach as the vehicle immediately swayed and violently jolted hard right over the entire cracked pavement, instantly making it utterly impossible for me to immediately guess the final intended direction or the final actual speed of our entire severe travel, instantly confirming that they were totally taking me severely far away from the entire massive supercenter and my final tiny hope of immediate help. I immediately tried to immediately rub the severely tight rope against the small, sharp buckle of my severely tight seatbelt to immediately cut the bonds, but the massive, huge man immediately kicked my entire side severely hard. Was the pain worth the risk of getting caught? We totally drove for a long, seemingly endless time, instantly making the intense, severe darkness and the severely sharp pain of the severely tight restraints immediately blend right into a severe, constant misery and a brutal terror that instantly defined every single moment of the entire terrifying trip, instantly feeling the total, huge weight of the entire corporate conspiracy severely crushing down hard on my entire chest, instantly realizing that the entire toxic leak was totally way bigger than just a massive illegal dumping operation and totally linked right to Mr. Thorne's vicious order to immediately stop my entire major investigation. I immediately felt the entire van immediately slow down fast. Were we finally at the destination? The totally unmarked white van immediately pulled hard right onto a severely rough, bumpy dirt road, instantly followed by the loud, severe crunch of dry gravel and massive, loud thuds that immediately suggested we were totally deep, right inside a totally remote and seriously sketchy industrial area, or maybe even a severely abandoned private property, instantly confirming that the final destination was totally not a police station, but a severely secret and extremely illegal containment facility for the toxic waste I had immediately found. The van immediately slammed hard to a total stop. I immediately tensed up severely hard. Was I about to see Mr. Thorne face to face? The massive, huge man immediately yanked the severely tight rope severely hard, instantly forcing me violently right up to my entire severely shaky feet and immediately guiding me hard toward the total, sudden open door of the totally unmarked van, instantly making me immediately stumble and severely cringe away from the intense, severe darkness and the terrifying, cold blast of the severely cold outside air that instantly hit my entire face, instantly realizing that the severely toxic smell of the severely illegal solvent was instantly way stronger out here than it was totally back at the entire massive supercenter. I immediately felt myself dragged hard across the rough, severely cold ground. What massive thing was immediately under my entire feet? I immediately felt the sharp, severe pain of severely cold, metal grating right under my severely shaky feet, instantly confirming that I was totally now standing right inside a massive, open loading bay or a severely large industrial platform that immediately amplified the severely cold temperature and the oppressive, severe silence of the entire joint, instantly hearing the loud, severe clank of massively heavy metal machinery immediately operating nearby in the severe, heavy darkness. The massive, huge man immediately ripped the severely dark hood right off my entire head, instantly blinding me totally with a single, harsh, severe fluorescent light that was angrily glaring right down at my entire face. I immediately squinted hard. What massive thing was immediately around me? My eyes immediately adjusted to the harsh, severe fluorescent light, instantly revealing that I was totally now standing right inside a cavernous, massive warehouse that was instantly packed severely full of massive, industrial-sized freezer units, towering severely high right up to the entire metal ceiling, and immediately emitting a loud, relentless hum that instantly vibrated hard right through the entire metal floor, instantly confirming that this entire severely remote joint was absolutely not a severely toxic dump site, but a completely illegal cold storage facility for some kind of massive, extremely valuable contents. I immediately spotted the severely cold, totally ruthless face of Mr. Thorne immediately emerging from the severe, thick fog of the freezing cold air right now. Was he actually the ringleader of the entire mess? Mr. Thorne immediately stepped right toward me with a slow, deliberate pace, instantly wearing a severely cold, totally vicious smile that instantly made my entire blood severely run cold, and immediately holding the severe, empty sample bottle right up to the severely harsh, glaring light with total, utter disgust and severely cruel contempt, instantly telling me in a very specific, low, and extremely vicious tone that I had totally poked my severely lame nose right into the single, only part of the entire Green Future initiative that was absolutely not meant for severely lame public consumption or immediate discovery. He immediately gestured toward the massive steel door of the nearest freezer unit. I immediately tried to immediately yell for total help. What massive thing was immediately inside the freezer? He immediately told me in a very specific, cold tone that the entire massive freezer unit was totally not severely filled with severely illegal toxic waste at all, but severely stuffed, severely full of massively illegal and totally unaccounted for, highly sensitive medical supplies that were immediately diverted from various severe relief efforts and were totally worth billions of cold, hard dollars right here on the massive international black market, instantly confirming that the entire toxic leak was totally just a massive, major diversion to totally cover up the entire massive organized theft and massive hoarding operation. I immediately gasped hard in pure, total horror. The entire Green Future was totally a severely vicious smuggling ring? Mr. Thorne immediately grabbed the massive steel door of the nearest freezer unit, instantly yanking it hard right open with a loud, severe screech of severely rusted metal that instantly echoed right across the entire massive warehouse, instantly exposing the sheer, total mountain of totally stacked medical boxes that instantly filled the entire cold, dark space from the floor right up to the entire metal ceiling, instantly revealing that the entire massive operation was totally way bigger and totally way more organized than any single thing I had totally imagined right now. He immediately shoved me hard right into the immediate opening, instantly telling the massive, huge man to immediately secure my severely shaky hands and severely swollen feet with a severely tight rope and a severely thick tape. I immediately tripped hard on a severe box. What was the final thing I saw? The very last thing I immediately saw before the massive steel door immediately slammed shut was the massive, ugly Walmart logo that was severely faded but clearly visible right there on the entire front of the entire massive freezer unit, instantly confirming that the entire severely illegal and seriously vicious smuggling operation was absolutely not severely run by some kind of external nasty mob, but was totally deeply embedded right inside the entire massive corporate structure I had totally trusted and immediately joined, instantly realizing that the entire massive supercenter was totally a massive front and that the severe toxic leak was totally their sloppy mistake. The door immediately slammed shut hard. Would anyone ever know the entire truth about this place? The severe, paralyzing cold immediately seized every single muscle in my entire body, instantly forcing my entire core temperature to immediately drop dangerously fast as the heavy, massive steel door instantly sealed my entire fate and immediately trapped me right inside the severe, dark void of the utterly freezing, huge unit, instantly making the severely tight rope that was severely binding my severely swollen wrists feel totally useless and severely weak against the utter domination of the massive, intense environment. I immediately fought the severe sudden sleep that was instantly creeping up hard on me, instantly knowing that if I immediately closed my entire eyes right now, the severely freezing cold would totally win the entire battle and immediately claim my entire life forever. I immediately rolled my entire body hard onto my entire side. Was the metal piece still there? I immediately spotted the small, sharp piece of totally loose metal again, instantly gleaming faintly right on the severely dusty floor near my severely shaky feet, instantly confirming it was totally not a massive, major tool, but a simple, broken hinge or a sharp, heavy screw that had immediately popped right off one of the severely stacked medical boxes nearby, instantly realizing it was absolutely not ideal, but totally my entire, only, final hope of total, absolute escape or immediate rescue. I immediately wiggled my entire severely swollen wrists hard, instantly maneuvering my severely tied hands violently right toward the small, sharp object with severe, desperate concentration, instantly ignoring the sharp, stabbing pain that instantly ripped through my severely cold entire forearms with every single movement I immediately made. My entire fingers instantly brushed the cold, sharp edge. Could I get a good grip on it now? I immediately wrestled the severely cold, tiny metal piece hard right between the severely tight bonds of the severely cold, restricting rope, instantly ignoring the sheer, total filth and the massive, sharp pain as I immediately worked the severely sharp edge violently right against the single, crucial strand of the severely tough fiber that was severely binding my severely swollen wrists, instantly focused only on the single tiny hope that the severe rough friction would immediately cut through the final crucial restraint before the severely freezing cold could totally claim my entire consciousness forever. Every single scrape was severely slow and instantly agonizing, immediately followed by the loud, relentless hum of the massive, cold compressors that instantly mocked my desperate struggle. The rope was severely thick. Was I even making any progress at all? I immediately felt a sharp, massive snap right against my severely cold entire wrist, instantly followed by a sudden, intense rush of severely needed, warm relief as the very first strand of the severely tight rope immediately gave way completely, instantly sending a massive, frantic surge of pure, needed adrenaline right through my entire severely frozen body, instantly forcing me to immediately redouble my severely rough effort and immediately pull the final remaining fibers hard right against the severely sharp metal with intense, utter determination. The entire rope immediately loosened slightly, instantly giving my severely swollen hands a single tiny bit of severely needed slack right now, instantly confirming that total, absolute freedom from the severe cold bonds was totally just a tiny second away. I immediately pulled harder one final time. Would I break the final rope? With one final, massive wrench of pure, raw will, the severely tight rope instantly snapped completely, instantly sending the severely painful bounds violently right onto the entire severely dusty floor, and immediately freeing my severely swollen red wrists from the severe, cold bonds of the brutal restraint, instantly making me immediately gasp hard in pure, sharp victory right there in the utter, freezing darkness. I immediately pushed my severely cold entire body hard against the heavy, massive steel door, instantly screaming a silent, desperate vow that I would absolutely not immediately die right here in the massive freezer, and that the entire massive, ugly truth about the entire Walmart conspiracy would absolutely not be totally buried right here with my severely cold entire body. I instantly felt a massive, strong draft of extremely cold air hit my entire face. The door was severely sealed.